Welcome, subscribers. We are continuing our excellent talk with Jake Kotze from thebravenewworldorder.blogspot.com. And we've been forced to change from Skype to a regular phone line here because we've been getting some troubles where we kept getting disconnected and interrupted in our discussion over Skype. And it all began, of course, when we were getting into 9/11 and all of this stuff. So that's one we leave for those who want to speculate further on that, I guess. But anyway, it's great to have you on the line here again, Jake. So to begin this segment, we were getting in earlier in regards to beginning speaking about symbols, and I guess that we kind of want to get this take this from the top again. Getting into this subject, we were speaking about your latest video, I guess, in regards to how you connect the Octagon with the Star of David and also with the Knights Templar cross and a lot of other things. And maybe you'd like to talk a little bit about that again and how you kind of discovered this.
Okay. Well, what I was primarily, the original reason why I was looking into the Octagon is because I'm a fan of Goro Adachi's Etemenanki, and he has shown many interesting octagons. And he writes about very similar themes. He also looks into synchronicities and coincidences and makes all these connections between symbols. His take is a little different, but he does similar work that has heavily inspired mine. But I was thinking about octagons, and I was trying to figure out the original source in the occult tradition, at least to it. And my opinion at the moment is that I think it's connected to the Great Pyramid of Giza and the layout of the Giza Plateau. And the Great Pyramid is actually an 8-sided structure. It has concave faces. The 4 faces that we usually see are actually, they slope inwards, giving it an 8-sided shape.
And
then the floor plan of the King's Chamber is a double square, and the double square is a key Masonic symbol, and they will impose them at 45 degrees over each other, and then you get an 8-pointed star. And that the 8-pointed star is also a very frequent Masonic symbol. And the Dome of the Rock is an 8-sided structure that often comes up in these things because it was the Solomon's Temple was originally at the scene of the Dome of the Rock, and I feel that the pyramids of Giza are connected to the Dome of the Rock and Solomon's Temple and the Knights Templar, because the Templar cross, like in books like Talisman, they show you how it's the octagon. If you connect the ends of the Templar cross, you get an octagon as well. And I was thinking about the Great Pyramid and the octagon that I see connected to that, and I just recently found on the internet a website called Octagon.mat where they show how all 3 of the pyramids, the big pyramids, the major pyramids of Giza, fit inside an octagon in this perfect manner, with the one right inside the middle one right in the center of the octagon, and the other one sides hitting the octagon, all in significant areas of the shape. It's very interesting. It thinks that the Egyptians might consciously have done this or used the octagon somehow in the construction of the layout.
Do you know if this octagon also is this similar to the dodecahedron shape?
The dodecahedron?
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one is the dodecahedron. It could be the one that's made out of lots of pentagons. I'm not sure. But what I was thinking of in connection to the David Star is that Ralph Ellis believes that the David Star is 2 pyramids. The symbol, the famous 6-pointed star with 2 triangles imposed over each other.
Sure.
It's actually pyramids, and that's the same symbol we get on Israel's flag.
Yeah.
And this obviously connected to David and Solomon and the Dome of the Rock and Egypt, if you follow the tradition of the alternative history, Ixos, like Michael Tessarian and Ralph Ellis. And
so there's
I was thinking that if you... Sorry?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was thinking if you think of the 2 pyramids on the David Star as 3-dimensional, as 2 3-dimensional Giza-type pyramids imposed over each other, you get a shape that people can see on this video. And I called it the Starmid. I couldn't find it on the internet. It just came to me at 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke up and I had to draw the thing, and then I realized that from the top, it has the 8-pointed star.
Sure.
And from the side view, it's the David star. So actually, if you look at the David star and make it three-dimensional, you get an octagon and the David star shape with two pyramids imposed on each other, which I feel is a very interesting thing. I don't know if the Masons or the original designers of the David star ever thought that way, but it sort of explains a lot of interesting things, and it's so eerily similar to the Freedom Tower shape, which is also an octagon viewed from the top, and it's like two pyramids sort of opened up and placed over each other, also at 45-degree angles. And so it all seems to be connected. The pyramids of Giza, the Dome of the Rock, and the Freedom Tower, all going through the secret society schools up to, and this Freedom Tower is being finished in 2012. It's all very eerie.
Oh, yes, it is. One thing that comes to mind is this regarding, the ability to take, for instance, a three-dimensional object and then view it at a particular angle, and then you see it as a two-dimensional object basically. And I think that what you've done here then is to kind of see that these are the same symbols if we are to convert them into three-dimensional models and view them from different perspective. Isn't that right?
That's right. Yeah. I feel that it's also the World Trade Center complex. I also see as the three pyramids of Giza. Like if you look at an aerial view of the World Trade Center complex, you notice that the two World Trade Center towers were like squares.
Yeah.
And that again reminds us of the double square. And if you look at the sizes, the relative sizes of the World Trade Center complex, they're much similar to the pyramids at Giza, with two big ones, one slightly taller, and a third one that's quite a bit smaller. And this is exactly what we find on the first-degree tracing board. There's two pillars with a third middle pillar, smaller in the center, with a ladder going up to the Stargate. And that's Jacob's Ladder, which is, again, where the Dome of the Rock is said to be the location of Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
The octagon, bringing the octagon in again. The first-degree tracing board, Ralph Ellis says, is a representation of the Giza pyramids, with the three pillars being the pyramids, and the tessellated floor that you would find in a Masonic lodge being a representation of what you would have seen in ancient times at Giza, with the original limestone. I forget what kind of stone, but apparently the original floor would have been reflected the heavens in it. And this is what we see when we look at the World Trade Center. It's like built on an island, which is like the Egyptian primordial mound.
I love that aspect. I love that aspect of your work. That you see this in entire area, I guess, as you say, as the primordial mound. And is this also talk a little bit about the Ben stone, because there's an interesting connection here with that. Yeah, well, the Ben stone it's a mysterious object, and it's believed by some to be a meteorite that fell from the sky in ancient Egypt and was venerated by the priests, and others believe that it was just a regular stone that just became holy, and even others believe that it was just what they called the pillars that they built, and that the pyramids were modeled after these Ben-Bens, or that the capstone of a pyramid is the Ben-Ben. There seems to be, overlapping ideas, and there's no real consensus about what the Ben-Ben is, but some believe that the spherical stone inside the Kaaba, I've heard Ralph Ellis say this, is possibly the Ben-Ben. And this is a rock that many people believe fell from the sky, or was given to Abraham by an angel. And in between the two World Trade Center buildings, there was this object called the sphere, and
And this sculpture, if you look on Wikipedia, it'll tell you, the sculpture was intended to mimic the Kaaba in Mecca. So if you think of the spherical stone inside the black Kaaba, and the spherical sculpture, which rotated just like people would rotate around the Kaaba, and in Egypt, the idea of rotating around the pyramid is something that Ralph Ellis has brought up as well. So there's this intimate connection between the World Trade Center Plaza and the pyramids, and I've sort of developed it into this idea that 9/11 was a ritual, possible ritual to invoke the pyramids, and I don't know. I have many theories. I call it a Stargate opening, because if we look at the first degree tracing board, we see the three pillars, and then we see the middle pillar representing higher consciousness and cosmic illumination, and I call it the Stargate. And I think that it was sort of a ritualistic sacrifice, like in the old days with the Mayans sacrificing people on their pyramids, or even if you think about the Bible and Isaac nearly being sacrificed on top of the mountain, which Ralph Ellis again believes is the pyramids of Giza. So there's this entire occult idea that I'm developing about the 9/11 mega ritual, as I call it. And it doesn't seem to be complete, because they're building this Freedom Tower in the shape of an octagon, and they're building it on top of their primordial mound, and it's to be finished in 2012, eerily enough, and it's a giant torch. It's just, it's ridiculously apparent.
It is, and do you see that? Because when I look at the Freedom Tower that is going up, as you say, it's like. Do you think that they have taken the two buildings that went down, the two larger buildings, World Trade Center Building 1 and 2, and kind of, it looks like they've merged them together on top of each other and then twisted them slightly?
That's a beautiful description. I haven't thought of it in that exact term, but yes, that is very much the same thing. It's like the shape is called a square antiprism. And it has 8 sides, just like the Great Pyramid. And yeah, like you say, I haven't thought of it that way. It's like the two squares sort of twisting as above, so below, and incorporated into one. It's an amazing building.
It is.
But to call it the Freedom Tower is a ridiculous slap in the face, considering that, if correct, that they sacrificed thousands of people inside this pyramid-evoking structure. Whatever nefarious purpose. It's pretty eerie.
It's a bit of an hourglass shape, also almost.
Yes.
And I guess that it's interesting for those who are familiar, with the Saturn mythology and so forth, with the hourglass and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I haven't considered that either. That's a good lead, and it's also like a giant torch. Like if you read about the designers, it's going to have like a brilliant light shining off the top of it, like in the evenings. And if you think about 2012 is also the year, obviously connected to many esoteric schools and thoughts out there right now, but it's also the Olympic year, where the Olympics will be in London. And if we remember that the 7/7 bombings and other so-called terrorist attacks was the day after the Olympics in 2012 in London was announced, it sort of seems like these so-called terrorist attacks are, one, to cause fear, but two, ritualistic, high-level secret society orchestrated events. Not just simply to, manipulate us into being afraid and allowing us, giving